When we get comfortable with certain ways of being and we're not seeing results, then we need to reevaluate our position on things, even our most treasured and cherished ways of being.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
And welcome everybody to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I'm so grateful to be with you. I am your host, Daniel John Hanneman. I'm grateful to share with you today some spiritual truths that will set you free. This is not what you think, when you see the show title. It is maybe a bit of an attention getter, but it's actually is meant to share a certain transmission that's not about quote unquote fat shaming or whatever and all that sort of thing, are necessarily about losing weight, but it's about getting down to the crux of things and how to actually achieve and have the fulfillment that you want in your business and more. So let's get down into it and cut the quote unquote fat. First of all, I've seen so many people who on a spiritual journey that want to do things in a certain way, and they often will say, this is what works for me, this is my design, or this is just what flows for me, whatever it may be. But there's a certain way of being that they're into that they're comfortable with, is the bottom line. Is comfort, as they say, the enemy of success? I don't know. I'm not going to go that far today to say it's always the enemy of success and there should be no comfort whatsoever. I think comfort is a great thing. I'm into the parasympathetic and all that, so hey, comfort is a good thing. It's just when we get comfortable with certain ways of being and we're not seeing results, then we need to reevaluate our position on things. Even our most treasured and cherished ways of being need to be reconsidered. So let me give you just a personal example first, and I'll talk about all the permutations that you may be experiencing. So for me, it just came up for me today, actually. It's very fresh, and I've run into it before, but I'll share today's. Today, I was getting on the scale like I often do on a Friday morning, and I like to check in with the scale. I look in the mirror and I do all the other things. How's my energy? How do I look in the mirror? Not out of vanity, but like, okay, I can look at for a guy, we look at our bellies, right? I'm like, okay, how's my belly look right now? So I've been doing those things, but I also weigh myself. I do use that as a measurement as well. And I got on the scale and I just was absolutely disgusted, I want to say, with what I saw. I was just like, all right, I have been continuing to stay around the same type of weight and not breaking through. And I've actually put on weight over the last year or so or more and it's not like massive weight at all. It's not like I put on like 20 pounds or something. It's like 10 pounds or something like that, right? So it's not like a ton of weight has come on me. It's just well above where I normally had been used to being at when it comes to such things. And okay, so I've been saying for a long time is in my eating approach. I promise you guys, listen, hang in with me, okay? Listen to my story, and I promise I'll get into permutations of how this works, maybe for you and your business and all that. We'll get into that real soon. But I'm just indulge me here just a little bit. So, because it may relate to you, as far as even if you do want to lose body fat or whatever, like it may resonate for you. So for a long time, I've said I will not make changes to my diet unless I think they're sustainable. I'm not going to just do a diet and then come off of a diet and then just do yo-yo back and forth. I only tweak what I eat and then I'll lean in, so to speak. And then that was a cherished way of being that worked for me actually to the level that I wanted it to work by staying relatively lean for a long time. But recently, because this last year I had an injury with my my back, and even to this moment of the recording, I'm not 1,000% with it as it relates to sciatic nerve stuff and all that. So I'm way further ahead than I was, months ago, but I still have a ways to go even with that. And so what happened is during that process is I just really couldn't do like things I normally do. I couldn't do the aerobic dancing and martial arts stuff that I like to do. I couldn't go to the gym and push weights the way I used to, 3, 4 times a week, often back, at the time this injury happened. I couldn't, even walk as rigorously, and still that's an issue. I can't even walk as long or as rigorously as I used to. So that's probably just some of it. This probably kept me from other things physically that help to keep your weight at a lower level, level as far as putting on potentially body fat and all that sort of thing. So I had bumped up, X amount of pounds, mostly from that. And I haven't been able to bring it down just because I haven't been willing to actually make real change in my approach. And my cherished idea has to be sustainable. My weight's up. I pull something out a little bit here and there. And that would always seem to ultimately work for me. Like eventually everything would come into alignment and work out for me because the calorie burn was, quite frankly, was higher with what I was doing. I'm sure. I'm not measuring it, but I could just tell by the way my body is responding right now. So, and one other change happened within the last year or so, which may be equally, maybe even at more, maybe to blame, so to speak, for the change, which is I started with this idea of you eat a bigger breakfast, a bit of a smaller sort of meal for lunch, then you eat minimal dinner, so it's like king, prince, pauper diet, and so I love that, and the science shows it's great for your metabolism and signaling and cues and your circadian rhythms. It's better or whatever, all the things, right? So, I'm kind of deranged, I want to say in that way sometimes that I watch these videos that go into all this depth with all kind of nutritional and health information, and honestly 97, 8% of it I never utilize because but the focus on health is important for me, so I listen, and sometimes when there's something that relates to me I will maybe make some tweaks, make some adjustments based on what resonates for me, right? So, and I just enjoy watching such material. So anyway, so I that was one of the things I had changed, and I loved it. I love the idea of eating big to start the day, relatively big, and then um, and it felt pretty good to just eat the way I wanted to for the rest of the day, which was smaller meals at lunch and dinner then. So but what I found is because of things like, okay, you go to eat out or something like that, and I don't make other adjustments in my meals, then I'm in a big surplus because I eat a big breakfast, and that didn't used to be the case. It used to be more of my calories would be eaten at dinner, and dinner was the bigger meal. So it's kind of getting the double whammy. So that put me in a precarious situation. That on top of the decreased overall activities, all added up to extra whatever amount of pounds. I would say it's probably less than 10 pounds, really. I was probably hovering probably an extra maybe 7 pounds or something like that. So it hasn't been tons of new weight on me. I'm pretty good at dropping weight. It's not hard for me, really, if I just decide to drop weight, but especially in the past. But so my point is, I had to let go of this cherished idea that even though I had adopted a whole new system that I felt was sustainable for me, that I needed to cut the fat, so to speak. I'm just using it as a like a metaphor. Like I needed to cut out the ways that are making hang the belly fat onto my body. And I was like, that's it. I've got to stop that. I got to stop it. Stop it. And like that Bob Newhart video, right? Stop it. Just stop it. So I decided I'm going to do something about this. So I did use my guidance from the lens again I tuned in not from my cherished idea about diet, but instead I asked, what is the right way for me to approach my diet right now, so to speak, how I'm eating that and other things on top of just eating. Like, okay, how do I work? Because I'm looking for high energy and I'm looking for belly fat loss, like those two things. And my energy can be quite high at times, but then again, it could always be better, right? I can always improve my energy flow in many ways. And that obviously goes well beyond diet alone, although that is a big one. Diet is way underrated sometimes. So anyway, so I got the downloads, I got everything, and I mapped out like in a fair amount of detail, like this whole approach that I am going to step into, I'm going to do, and I'm going to finally bring it down to where I want it to be, which is actually 14 pounds less than where I am now. And most people look at me right now and be like, "You're going to lose 14 pounds? What are you, crazy? You're already thin as a rail." Like that's what, but they can't see the belly all the time. They don't see the belly I have, so they don't realize like, yeah, I probably need to lose about 14 pounds or so, and that may adjust over time, right? Okay, maybe as I put on a little bit of extra muscle, okay, but people way overestimate the amount of muscle we put on usually, and like, oh my God, that weighs more, and like we probably need another 5 pounds for the muscle, and yeah, only if I'm like really bulking up, like as a 56-year-old guy. I mean, like, so for me, like, okay, probably ultimately like 14, but I want to drop maybe, not maybe, but like basically about 10 pounds, about 10 pounds. So, so I got it planned. I got a time frame, everything. I just dialed it all in and, but it like actually doing, like committing to a plan like that absolutely eviscerated like the idea that it's got to be just a sustainable thing that I just kind of keep doing. And when I'm out of alignment, like with where I want to be with belly fat or whatever with weight, then I just make some tweaks and I get back into the balance or whatever. And like I just had to let all that go and just decide that's it. I'm just going for the goal. And when I get to the goal, I can reevaluate, or I could even change at any time if I really get a strong yes from my guidance as I check in, right? Keep checking in with that. So, do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free meditate, make money meditation today. Often we're not consulting like our guidance to see if our usual ways of doing things are still a fit. And often our guidance won't even tell us to make a change anyway if we feel too comfy with the way it is. Then sometimes the guidance will still reflect like, yeah, okay, you like it, it's okay, like so you have to really just decide, I want to change, I'm interested in change. What will help me to change in any area of your life or in your business? So now, like as a promise, I'll get into how this relates into business for visionary healers and whatnot. Like I like to talk to visionary healers because a lot of people I'm working with have either they've been in corporate and now they're starting a visionary healer type of business. Again, whatever it may be for you, building out, putting locations and centers all over the place, or you want an online center, or you just have a big vision to impact humanity with your healing gifts, and it's like this vision you have. So it could be many different permutations, and or maybe you've been in a business, maybe you've even had a great business, like of any sort, including a coaching business, but now you realize, oh man, it's not the visionary, like I got this vision for healing for the planet, how things want to evolve, and I want to say yes to that. And then you start to realize, like, if you when you start to go down that road and you start to approach going down that road, what you're going to realize is you cannot get there by doing things in the way that you have previously. What does that mean? For a lot of you, achiever types, you've been working really hard, and so you've gotten this idea like it's got to be like in a light way. It's got to be exactly in this sort of time or this way I do it or whatever. And I won't do this and I won't do that. And you get really clear on all those things and you get clear on some of your yeses and you get locked into how you're going to do it. And it's got to be from the feminine energy or from the spirit and all this stuff. I've been there. Like that's what it was me when I first got started. It's got to be completely in the flow with the spirit and all that stuff. What I perceived as the spirit. So, and it was beautiful. It was a great, it's perfect. It was a perfect medicine for me at the time. But what I found, in business is for visionary healers like myself who have built like a multi six-figure businesses and for years and helped many people deeply, is that you've got to evolve to get to the next level or to step into the new thing. You have to become new. You have to refresh yourself. So you got to cut out all the old ways of being. I'm calling it the fat for fun, to be honest. I know it's not fun for everybody if it's a sensitive subject, but I apologize. It's a powerful way of looking at it. It's like, okay, I mean, I have to reinvent like the way I approach things. And so what needs to change? I mean, some of the things I've been changing as I'm looking to continue to level up is I have, things I've been talking about lately, the higher standards and more focus on personal development and my goals and my vision and visualization and talking to my spirit guides and like just doubling down like on all the inner stuff, for example, is one of the things. And so yeah, things that I hadn't been doing as rigorously as I'm doing now. And it's making a total difference. Like in the business, like we have people seeing it, people can see it, people can feel it, new opportunities are coming to me. People are wanting to work with me are saying, wow, I've known you for a while, but man, you seem different now. You seem stronger, better, whatever. They perceive it in some sort of way. And so it's starting to build the foundation for more. And so I see that with other people I work with. Like we start to, okay, well, I like to get up and stretch for an hour or whatever may be the case for the client. And I'm like, do you really need to stretch for an hour, or is that just a way of avoiding what you need to really do, in the day for your business? Like, are you just avoiding things, in your business? Are you avoiding the things that need to get done that you just are avoiding for whatever reason, So what we usually find is there's a bunch of things that they're hanging on to, treasured ways of being that are keeping them from being fully aligned with their purpose, their vision, with business growth, right? And so that has to change. Maybe it's that you haven't been, really even focusing on the idea of sales. You just don't even want to deal with that. You just want to be in the vision and and it's going to happen, and the right people will come to you, and you're seeing signs, but there's no deals getting done. It's like, okay, there's no deals getting done. Well, it'll come. It's only been 3 years or 6 months or whatever it is. Okay, but like, is the energy even activated for sales or a transaction to happen? Whether you're looking for investors, whether you're looking for new clients, whatever it is you're looking for, right? Is the energy even turned on for that? Are you allowing for that, or are you basically only mentally saying you want it, but your energy just keeps saying no because you may go back into some of your old ways that you didn't prefer or burned you out, right? I did all that stuff. Oh my God, I'll start getting obsessed and you know this will lead to that. And you may not think it through all the time that way, but like that's what's going on under the hood of your consciousness. So you have to realize it's okay. It's going to feel, transformation feels very uncomfortable. Yeah, it is. One of the new people that I'm serving, right now or served the other day and looking to add me on at some point is she's so right. She says, I'm in the messy middle. Like I'm wanting to emerge, in this new way, and it's messy, and that's why she's looking for help, right? She's why she wanted to connect with me. So it's a transformation. We talked about, the usual, you're turning into that butterfly. Been the caterpillar. Now you're meant to be the butterfly. It's uncomfortable. It is. Is it possible to do with total comfort and ease and lightness and everything? Everything's possible, right? So my thing is it's going to be uncomfortable, and then the deeper lightness and the flow will come in afterwards. I've seen it again and again for again myself and others. It's like at first it's extremely uncomfortable. You feel like no, this isn't spiritual growth. This isn't the beautiful feminine way because I'm making this powerful decision and it doesn't feel right in my body because I'm tense right now. But and I'm not saying everybody that's into the feminine energy would say that, okay? So don't go there. We don't go there. Look at that Bob Newhart video. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I just think it's so funny, and it's a lot of wisdom in that video, as wild as it is at the same time. So we don't go there. The truth is that we need a blend of all of it, right? We got to allow ourselves to feel uncomfortable, to have big breakthroughs. So where are you? Have you been unwilling to really get strong on what you need to get strong on? Do you need the hour meditation to start your day every day of the week? Maybe you need to double it. I don't know. Like what is it going to take to you keep hearing the download keeps coming or you keep thinking maybe that's what I need, but you don't do it. You just keep avoiding it. You keep hanging on to the comfort, right? And of the way you've been. And then you were like, where's the new results? I'm doing marketing, I'm doing more contacts, but your way of being otherwise is the same. Like you're not doing all the things because of the connection with the power you are by letting go of the old energy and getting the stronger energy that wants to come through with the feminine and the masculine, divine masculine and feminine. It's meant to, you wanting to embody more of it and synergize and integrate it all so you can't cut right through to the results and get rid of everything that would hold you back from the power that you are. It's all about that ultimately, being the powerful signal that you are to the results that you're wanting to create in your business and allowing those to happen. And so, yeah, it will require new commitments. It will require new actions. It will require new ways of being. It will require a new mindset, an up-level mindset. And so we've got to continue to clear through our false beliefs. We've got to raise standards. We've got to be willing to do things that we thought we would never do. We've got to be willing to invest in ourselves, even when we're like, I've invested so much already. I can't go more. And you've said it the last 30 times you invested. You're like, I can't do it again. But you know what? The right next investment might be the one that you need that's going to flip everything around. Like whatever the investment might be, I don't care. I mean, whatever it is that you're trying to create, you need to invest in that prototype. You need to invest in that the online master that could set up your online center. You need whatever it is. I don't care. But yes, of course, yes. Maybe you need the mentor, the coach, the healer. We need those things, right? When we're doing a big up level, we're gonna need all of it. We're gonna need a lot of it, right? We're gonna need a lot of support in the process. So whatever it is that you're needing is to make those decisions quick and fast and just cut right through it. Rather than like I'm thinking about doing this, increasingly just do it as fast as possible. It's a fire horse year, guys. Even if you're listening to this one, it's not a fire horse year. Chances are you need to do it sooner than you think. So there's changes I want to make in my business that, yes, I can't do all of them at once, right? So you do have to schedule things out. Okay, if not right now, then when? What's your commitment? Like, what are the commitments? Getting the commitments firm, getting them scheduled, and being no nonsense about it, getting more like that. The more you can be like that, the more, when you're like just blink your eyes, you got new clients and new opportunities, like those will come even easier and faster and better for you when you're willing to do the things that are more uncomfortable and you're growing in those ways. You'll find more of the other things happening. It's not about like now I'm going to have to work harder because there's all these new standards and intentions, everything. It's about learning to proceed with them by moving through the discomfort into greater presence, greater expansion of the fulfillment of who you are, and allowing everything to get easier and lighter in that sense. In that sense, knowing you're always going to face challenges because that's all part of this journey. There's going to be challenges. And as you deepen your presence, as you deepen into your power, it just won't last as long. You might be in intense like, and then it just like disappears like it did for me today. Like largely after I made the decision, yeah, for the first 45 minutes or an hour, it's like, whatever amount of time it was like, it felt like this, like, kind of irritation, anger, like, but I'm doing this and that's that. It's happening. Kind of, if I were to go to the mental, even I wasn't really thinking all that, but like, it's that much. But like, there was this sort of the vibe, and then yeah, I get engaged. I just let it go. I get engaged with everything else in my life, and then I'm reflecting back on the decisions I've made on that area of my life, and I'm like, oh, okay, it'll be fine. And if it seems like it's not working out, then I can always tune in and see if an adjustment is needed. See, so you could commit and not based on comfort, like just like, oh, I just want to feel comfortable and more relaxed right now. And it's just a story, and maybe it's not even going to make you feel more relaxed. It's like when it comes up, like, I don't know, should I really keep doing this? Is to just be trusting of the commitment you made is probably always going to be the right choice still, right? Like to stay with the commitment unless it's just gets so abundantly clear, like, yeah, when I tune in, like, it's just obvious I need to go this way now, right? I need to make this adjustment or this tweak. And if you slip off of something, I always say, like, just come back to center as soon as possible. Don't worry about it. Who cares? You're not meant to be perfect like a robot. Like that's the opposite of what we're looking for, because that's just not going to happen. Number one. Number two, we learn by going off course a little bit, right? So yeah, that whole plane analogy, or planes off course 95% of the time as it flies from Chicago to LA or whatever, right? But ultimately still gets there, right? So that's the same nature we have. We can be off course a little bit here and there, but we have to keep refocusing back and be willing to reinvent at any time. Like there may be a whole other portal like that opens up within what you thought was going to be the answer, right? That's possible, even if it came from your guidance, right? We get so attached to our guidance, some of us sometimes. But my guidance said, it's like, yeah, your guidance told you that for a reason at that time. Now maybe the guidance is evolving. Now maybe you're able to hear something that's even more true and more aligned for you, but you wouldn't been ready for it before. Maybe you need to learn something through the first downloads you got and the first new commitments you made, and then you're ready for the next step. So anyway, so I just wanted to share this principle with you of you have to be willing, and it's been said so many ways by so many people, but the truth is again, I want to speak to it specifically for people who have been hard workers, high achievers, want to be visionary healers. They know there's an evolution that needs to take place in their being. You know that somewhere inside you, you need to evolve, you need to change in some big way. When I first got into all this stuff, it was about meditation and channeling, and that was the big evolution. Things in the business, as far as tactics, strategies, messaging, all this that came second. Like versus about just taking me aligned overall with spirit, and everything else started coming, and then there's been ongoing evolutions from there. I'll just leave it at that for today. But so guys, I just wanted to, guys and gals, everybody, I just, grateful for you tuning in today. So what is the area of your life or business that you need a transformation? Think in terms of transformation. What needs to not just change a bit, or what's the next little tactic or strategy that I'm going to do to make a difference here? What is the transformation that is needed on an energetic mindset level, and then you can look at actions and tactics and all the strategy and all that stuff. What is the transformation that's needed right now in order to step into the vision that you're imagining to serve, whatever it is that you're here to serve, and to let it be so, to let it become a fact, and to thrive in your visionary healing business or in your business period? Okay, if you don't look at it as a visionary healing business. Okay. All right. I'm so grateful to have shared with you today. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think you can pull it off by hanging on to your cherished old ways of doing things that just like were fanciful ideas that maybe served for a while, but maybe aren't serving anymore? Or do you feel like, yeah, Daniel, you're right. Daniel, you're right. You can type in the comments, or you can type where you see me. Daniel, you're right. I need transformation. That's what I'm going for. Therefore, I'm going to do X, Y, Z different, or I'm going to make those changes. You don't even have to tell me what they are if you don't want to. Okay, so I look forward to hearing from you. And if you want to boost and get my downloads and what I feel would help you in making that transformation, just reach out to me at yoursacredpurpose.com or on social media to say, hey, I heard you on your podcast. I'd love to get support with that. And we can talk, we can chat and connect and see what I can do, what I can maybe tune into right away for you to help you with that. Okay, so I'm so grateful to have shared with you today. And like I always say at the end of every episode, keep on tuning in and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till the next time.
For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.